Day nine, day nine, day nine. Good evening, good evening. Let's get right into it. What are some of the things you guys remembered from yesterday that stood out the most?
That once you see a setup that you recognize, you need to capitalize.
Big facts. Big facts. So far,
Yesterday,
Stefan has already got a point. Who else? Who else?
two touches are more important, or two touches confirms.
True, true, true. Who was that? Who's that? Was that Bianca?
Yeah.
Bianca got a point. Let's go.
Mhm.
Rich said best comeback is with high quality setups. That's a fact. Rich got a point. Woo! So far, you guys are on the board. I love it. Sheesh. Okay. You guys sound really. Is this coming from your memory? Is this coming from your notes? That's what I need to know.
Memory.
Okay. So it's not written down?
I mean, it is written down, but
Why? Just making sure.
nah, it's written down, but I remember.
That's good. That's good. All right, Andy, do you remember anything from yesterday? Hey, Sandra, how you doing?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Hans. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes.
All right, Andy, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I'm just going over some notes here. I've been watching your videos all day trying to catch up. So I have a lot going on in my head right now. But I know yesterday you touched on um three key areas to close trades, and I think that was like my favorite part.
Okay.
That was really good for me.
I have this cringy face right now. I'm like, damn, what's it like to hear my voice a whole entire day? Like, oh, I hope that's like not annoying.
Yeah, you have a great voice. You do a good job teaching. It's fine.
Oh,
But that has been my whole day, pretty much.
wow, that's crazy. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, yo, y'all have no idea like how it feels like to be trying to think about somebody listening to your voice a whole day. I'm like, damn, I need to put more effort. Good evening, everybody. All right. That's much better. That's much better. You just reminded me to be very mindful on like my voice projection because like somebody's going to literally spend hours of their day listening to you. So we have to make it count. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It's good to have you here. Everybody's energy is just so positive, and I can sense it. So, I praise God for that. I praise God for that. And so, as we link yesterday's conversations, I want to say, like, we talked about when you see a good setup, you need to capitalize. Like, once you recognize it, you got to capitalize it. Did anybody see a setup like that today besides Kennedy? Because Kennedy capitalized for sure. Might as well call it Kennedy Capital going forward. Did anybody catch any setups that they saw, recognized, and just pounced on that setup? Anybody? Anybody?
So I had like a small setup for Bitcoin where it went down and came up and retested, and then it went down a little bit. So I made a little bit of money on that. And then as far as gold goes, because I was in it. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hold on 1 second, please. And then on top of for gold, I wasn't in it because I got out early on that, but I was watching it just to track how far price would go on the Sunday through Thursday strategy. So I was just like, that's more of like tracking for me.
Mm, nice, 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 nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Anybody else traded today?
Nah.
Okay, good. But did you recognize any setups though? Just because you didn't trade, don't mean you didn't see something.
Hans, the setup I said I took this morning. I mean, I saw it on my indicators and how I kind of trade, but
Yeah.
catching your the resistance that pushed it back down, I couldn't catch that. I tried, but that's where I'm kind of struggling. I mean, it's easy to kind of catch double tops, double bottoms, but
Yeah.
even bounces like what you're seeing in front of you right now. But the trying to catch a liquidity zone is still a struggle for me.
Yeah, a liquidity sweep is not easy.
Yep.
It's really not. You got to anticipate it with your finger on the trigger. And I know exactly where you're coming from. And so, I'll talk about like key ways to capitalize off that today. I will definitely talk about liquidity zones. So, let's start there. One thing about areas of quote unquote liquidity is just like how I was explaining it yesterday. Um, think about it as two companies are pretty much trying to get the best and most expensive price because they know if they get it at an expensive price, it's going to be a much better profit margin for them once they acquire let's say a property that they want to sell, like resell, right? So if you are buying a BMW and like if you buy it at its newest price, then by the time you use it and you pretty much want to sell it, it's not going to lose that much value. So that's why like institutions before the market like sells off, they're literally like outbidding the previous price within a supply zone. So when you understand that price is bearish, for example, a break and retest is nice, but when price goes slightly above the previous hours or the previous day, just to yank it up, just snatch it up real quick and they leave behind a wick such as this, then that's when you know it's going to be juicy for you. It's going to be real juicy, you know? And so when you see a setup like that, this is a setup you have to capitalize on because it's tattletelling on itself, it's snitching on itself. Not only did they tell you, hey, we just swept New York or we just swept London and New York, we left behind a wick. Wicks are like footprints. It's like dinosaur footprints. Like, yeah, clearly a dinosaur was here. It was not just anybody. It was a freak of nature. Like something happened here. A murder happened here. A lot of stop losses got hit, or somebody got the best absolute price before this market sells. And so, since we know that it's not just retail traders in this position, we want to get in with the big guys. And typically, when I see a setup like this, oh, you already know I capitalize. Okay. So, a sweep of the previous session or a sweep of the London session while in New York is a beautiful high quality trade setup, which I usually capitalize by adding some positions. I risk a little bit more. And these trades usually last anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours. And sometimes if I see that like it's losing volume, I'll close some positions, wait for a retest, and I'll get back in with some of the profits that I've made. Typically, when price sweeps the liquidity of London session in New York, they usually move the market in one direction for the next 6 to 7 hours. Honestly, sometimes until the end of the session. So it pretty much dictates direction once they sweep the previous session. Once they that's funny. That's crazy. I'll be coming up with those bars. It's so crazy. Once they sweep the previous session, Bitcoin. Hey, now they're gonna think I don't know how to spell. They dictate the daily direction. I like it. Once they sweep the previous session, pero coño. Why am I? What's up with me? They dictate the daily direction. So let's see if I'm lying or not. Let's go look for areas where price pretty much sweeps the previous session. All right. Let's see how many times we can confirm that this does happen to be true. Number one, this was London. This is New York. Price sweeps London on Tuesday. They bought. So why didn't they continue to buy? Oh, they made it to supply. So if price is making it to supply after they sweep London and New York, then this is when you might see a reversal happen because they've made it to their destination. Otherwise, if you're looking at a trade and they sweep London and New York, they usually maintain that direction. They reverse and maintain that direction. Here it is right here. We see that this was 3:30, 5 a.m., 7 a.m. This is all the New York. I mean, this is all the London session. So within a trend, if you see prices pulling back, and then by 9:10, they pull just a tad bit below the middle. I used to call it a liquidity pocket. Once they pretty much pull back inside the interior and just slightly below the previous session, London and New York, they typically reverse and keep that direction going, especially if they're trending the market. How many people knew that specific piece of confirmation? How many people knew that?
Can you say that one more time, please?
Oh, I got you. Once price sweeps the previous session, they typically reverse and maintain that direction. You got that. If you're not somebody who like to hold your position, if you're getting in at 10, 10:30, 11, you could hold that trade until like 1, 1:30, 2 p.m. because they're gonna maintain that direction. So the whole time psychology behind a sweep of the previous London and New York is around like 3 hours. So between those 3 hours, you could definitely eat. You could definitely eat. So this is why I like to take a screenshot of something like this, including the measuring stick, just so I could see how long that price took to do that. If you guys never did that, you need to incorporate that. It's very important. All right. So for you to get better at holding your trades, you got to start documenting the things that happen and include how long did it last. So you can have an idea on how long you should hold. So you're not feeling delusional on why you were holding or kicking yourself in the foot why you could have held. Right? The mind doesn't want to be in any type of pain. So once you cut out the trade, you feel good, but if it keeps running, you feel terrible. But is there a way to pretty much trick the mind in holding more? Well, you have to show it that, hey, there's proof that if you hold for around 3 hours, 5 hours, this trade typically lasts 5 hours. So you're on that flight, put your seatbelt, sit back tight, and enjoy the ride. Okay, so I like to take screenshots with that piece of information. And then I'll notate just like I'm about to show you guys. So I'll be like, the sweep the sweep. Don't tell me if I'm available now. Oh, okay. The sweep of London session New York. It's a high quality trade. It's last 3 hours. Helps to be confident in maintaining position. Simply because it maintains directional bias. Does that make sense? So for those of you guys who aren't too good at journaling, this is how you would journal something that you notice keeps happening frequently. The more you see it, the more proof you have. Like you're like, okay, okay. Keep flirting with me with that setup. Watch what's gonna happen. Keep liking my liquidity areas. See what's gonna happen. Oh, pause. Oh, pause. Y'all get what I mean.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to
Oh,
pause so you guys can finish writing. I can finish
uh,
us writing. I need you guys to finish, you know, your 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 mental excitement. When you speak too fast and too much, some people catch anxiety and information overload. So I like to slow it down and just politic and, you know, make sure you climax to the thought process. So everybody understands what I just did here, right?
Yes.
We are essentially backtesting a very profitable setup together. And I'm showing you how like to backtest and to take notes and to journal and have a whole catalog of like something that is going to benefit you. Okay. And so I'm showing you proof that some setups happen so often, you pretty much gonna start feeling yourself a little too much like, oh, this is easy. You just gotta show up at the right time and just click, click. It might not happen all the time, but you don't need it to happen all the time. But when it's happening, you catching on, you're gonna start preparing yourself to pull the trigger. And that's why I call it execution mentality. You ready to pull the trigger, you ready to execute, you know? Don't beat yourself up too hard if you keep missing it. Eventually you're gonna catch on. The jitters are gonna go away and you're just gonna be mad. You just want to execute. All right, so let's keep looking for that setup. I just want to know, are you guys still feeling the excitement out of this boot camp, or y'all starting to get like tired or like, oh, this is so dragging? I just be wanting to know like what y'all thinking about at this present moment. Y'all good? Y'all still good?
Nah, no, it's not boring. It's a lot of information, and also, what was I gonna say? I don't know, some of the stuff you say, we you don't hear from, or I'll speak for myself, some of the things you say, I haven't heard from, let's say, other mentors and courses, that I've taken. And I don't know if it's like a fear of, putting people on game or, ego thing, but I don't get that here. So yeah, no, you're doing a pretty good job teaching
Appreciate
us
it.
inside and outs, and also putting us on games and talking about things that a lot of traders are afraid to talk about, especially ones that are quote unquote up there.
The truth is, and I'm gonna give it to you in different ways, right? The truth is, I have not taken anybody's courses. Everything I see here is just in the way that I've seen it. And so it turned into my own language. And number two, whatever course people are giving you, and I'm not speaking of someone specific, a lot of it can be regurgitated, especially if you're looking for information on YouTube. You could really um you could pretty much find the common denominator of the top three most popular mentors or traders online. And most people's styles is going to be either ICT, Q, or whoever, whatever, right? And so here I am giving you something that you've never really heard before. And honestly, that's always been me, whether it's with women or whether it's with like perspectives. Even my mom be like, damn, the way you think is different, son. And so like you're not gonna hear it elsewhere. It's not something I heard. I'm like, oh, let me just make it into my own. It's just me sitting here hours upon hours seeing these things or back testing or whatever. And I'm like, damn, I noticed that you have this pattern about you, US 30. And whenever you do that, you play out this way. And I do that with people too. Like I'm always very observant. And that's why, like, one of my gifts is like to see you, right? It's like, damn, I noticed that you do that, or people don't do this for you, or people treat you this way. It's like, wow, nobody saw that before. I'm like, yeah, it's because I pay attention to people from like a, a psychological perspective. So so when it came to the markets,
Oh, one of those
I
things.
pretty much pay attention to like behavior. So when I see that, I add different components of what I see, and then I bring that into my own psychology. Make sense? So that's why I don't think people are always gatekeeping. It's just they see it differently than I do.
That's what make you a genius at it in
Yeah,
your own way.
yeah, and so do you, fam. Like the way you trade and scalp, I don't think I've seen it from anybody else besides myself, honestly. Like, and I kind of moved away from that type of scalping, but you perfected it in your own way, and that's what makes you a genius too. We all have our own level of genius. It's just whenever like it manifests into how we walk, talk, and how we operate, that's really what makes you be in tune with yourself, and therefore it makes you know yourself a lot more. So let's continue, guys. Let's continue. So we're looking for that setup we just talked about. What happens when price sweeps the previous session? All right. Now, I think I've mentioned this before. It's the same behavior when price sweeps the previous day. And when price sweeps the previous day's low, up and away we go. Or if price sweeps the previous day's highs, to the ground we fall until we find demand. All right. So, and constantly I tell you guys, one of my main things about trading is you gotta learn to be visually ambidextrous.
Oh,
Do you know what that means, Andy? What do you think that means?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
See things multiple ways.
Mm-hmm. Kind
Yeah,
of like your picture, Andy. We have like a whole bunch of Andys in one picture and then one main Andy. So visually ambidextrous is a word that I coined besides, you know, execution mentality, is that you want to see things from different angles and be really good at it. It's just like some people can write with both hands, right? That's what that.
That's the part that I struggle with trading is I feel like I see too many things at once that I
Right.
don't
Like the
believe in
picture.
everything. Yeah, like there's too much going on.
Okay. That's why you have to just focus on one main thing until it makes sense with everything else. And then you feel a whole sense of wholeness. It can be difficult, but once you start to understand some things and then over time you're like, okay, I don't get this part, but I need to sit down and just watch. Some days are not meant to be traded, they're meant to be observed. I got really good at just sitting here watching the market snitch on itself. Snitch on itself. And I'm like, oh wow, you do that. You do that a lot.
That was a good one, huh? Some days aren't meant to be traded, just watched. I like that.
Yeah. It's true. So, like I said yesterday, trading is not a 9 to 5. So you don't have to force the idea that like I'm here in front of this chart, I better make it count and make some money. Sometimes you have to come to observe and study your enemy. This is war. Okay. It's chess, it's checkers, whatever you want to call it. So now I usually say questions like, okay, I saw price do this, I got in the trade. What's next? Where do I exit? Or it's gonna buy until when? These questions are very productive and it leads you to figure things out. Reasons why is like, for example, you ever been in a trade and you're like, okay, so what now? Where do I put my stop loss? How many points should I go for? Pips should I go for? Like you you realizing that part of the problem and part of the solution is figuring out the trade, but then being in the trade is a whole nother thing. Y'all ever get caught up like that? Talk to me, people. Talk to me.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, I do.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, especially when the market is playing limbo and zigzag and jerky jerk. And it's like, bro, can you just like stop jumping left and right and up and down for just a minute and just go straight? Because you are panicking me. You got me fidgety. Stomach is in knots, sweating bullets, meatballs, mom spaghetti. You know what I mean. All right, so this is why structure is very important to understand. Like, I took a sell today. I knew the sell was coming from price sweeping London. And I know once price sweeps the previous session, they're going to be heading down. But right around when price made it to this area by like 10, I'm like, well, why are we stuck? Why is this rod stuck? And immediately I remembered when price is stuck, you need to get out or start moving your stop loss because there's a high potential chance that it's going to retrace back up. And so if I'm in maximum profit, this is where I need to exit. No attachments. So that's why, like, when I'm looking at the market, not only should I dictate the direction, but I need to dictate my exit, you know, because managing a trade is important, very, very important. Knowing why you're in, why you have your stop loss, and where's the destination. Where is the destination going? So it's always good to be able to look left to figure that out. So when I thought price was going to be heading down this way, once it slowed down, I said to myself, hey, you know what? Let me close these profits. If it pulls back by like 12:30 and up until 1:30, if they retrace like that, I'll get back in. Well, as fate would have it, I fell asleep. So when I woke up at 2:30 and I'm just looking at this rejection, like all of the wicks are pointing upwards and they just keep on like losing volume. I'm like, okay, price still wants to sell. And instead of trading it, I just watched. And it confirmed to me that it's true. Once you see price rejecting back, in the middle of the afternoon from where price was before, yeah, you can still take that trade. You can drop down to like a M5 and then just watch price break, retest. That typically tells you price is going to keep going down and you could put your stop loss above that area. And boom, lo and behold, a good hour, 2 hours later, they continued selling. So some people like to try and like take counter trades and then they get chewed up because they're not understanding just because price is going back up, that doesn't mean you have to trade price going back up and then down and then back up again. Like sometimes we need price to come back up so we can get a better entry and not to trade it. It's tradable, but it doesn't mean you have to trade it. Sometimes price action is more important for you to let it do step one uh for you to execute step two. It's just like you dance, it's a dance partner, you know? So these are things that are important to figure out because that'll help you to clean out the way you think about executing a trade. Because you don't want to get beat up. Just taking all types of trades, it helps you to clean out your selection as well, your trade selection. So let's go back to price sweeping the previous London session. Okay. Monday, July 15th. We saw price bounce here at 425, broke structure, pulled back. They ran. Did price sweep the previous London session? Not really. But what did we notice? We saw that price bounced off of this area twice. Would this have been a trade that we could have taken? Yes or no? Let me check the chat. Yes or no? That's right. Okay. So it's also good to identify trades that align with you because just because you're back testing doesn't mean you can't consider that this is something you would have taken truthfully. All right. So where would it have been best to place a stop loss if you guys got in that trade? Is it below London? Is it right below this wick? Where would you guys have put your stop loss? We're looking at 40,188. This is below London. 40,180. and then 40,263.
I would have put my stop loss around 40,150-ish, a little bit below that actually.
Nice.
Yeah, right below there.
Nice. Remember, we're taking buys, Tiana. Below London. Oh, sorry, not you, Tiana, Joe. We were taking buys. So you would have put that below the wick, you say? Joe?
A little, see at the bottom of the wick, a
Yeah.
little bit up some.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad, guys. Not bad at all. So why would you put your stop loss below London, Tiana? I just want you to be confident about what you
Because you taught me about liquidity sweeps, and
Mm,
now since I know what that is, I know that price could potentially head back down to that area or probably get a little lower because they're looking to buy again at a better price.
yes. Somebody put some fire on the chat for Tiana.
Woo!
Bing, 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 bing. Good. That answer was fire. Good job. You see, the key to back testing is also asking yourself, would I have put my stop loss there? Would it have been a better, area to put my stop loss there? Why would that be a good area to put my stop loss there? Because here's the secret, guys. When shit is happening in real time, you need to be thinking on your feet. And if you're not thinking the right things, it's gonna sabotage your trade. And so you have to learn to know what you're doing, just like when you practice driving and then they put you on the road. Because the last thing you want is for your mind to be panicking when you want to get into a trade in real time. Okay. So that's why I'm like going over setups with y'all and then just like calmly, you know, asking you these questions so y'all can figure out how your thought process needs to be. Now, some of you guys obviously know these things, but it's always important to do this. This exercise is very important. When you're back testing by yourself, do the same thing. All right. So when price is retracing, if it's not retracing below London, they just might sweep it below the pre-market. Remember, New York market opens at 9:30 Eastern. And a lot of times being hasty will get you messed up. But if you wait for a sweep or you wait for a break and retest, you will win more trades than you lose them. Because they're either gonna do two things. They're either gonna sweep or they're gonna break structure, pull back, and continue. Even during news. Okay. So what I typically do is if I can't see price pulling back to sweep London, which they did here, they did, but they can sweep London and the pre-market 830 before buying up. So how I see it is the further you pull back in, better for me. The same way you looking for cheaper prices, so am I. So let's say I got in a buy here and they sold and they stopped me out, or let's say they're selling, but I'm like, I'm not convinced this is a sell. Why am I not convinced this is a sell? Remember what we talked about yesterday? I'm like, is it sweeping London? Is it sweeping yesterday's low? Or is it like completely push into the downside? And as you see it, all they did was just sweep the previous hour and previous session lows, previous London. And then what did they do? They took off. And what if I wasn't fully ready to take the trade because I was still kind of confused? I'll wait for a retracement and a continuation. It don't even have to be too many points for you to catch something good. Price swept, broke structure, pulled back. Okay, thanks for the pullback. I'm getting in right here. I'm putting my stop loss at, 50 to 60 points below. Give myself a chance. Going for about 100, 50 points, 120 points. I'm looking for what it can give me as it's pulling back up. So if I'm gonna risk 50, I'd like to make 100. If I'm risking 60, I'm looking to see if I can make 120. But by the time I'm getting around to 80, 90, 100, I need to start making some decisions, closing some partials, moving my stop loss, considering to close the whole thing, depending on what type of day it is. These are the ways you need to have your thought process. And this is why, like, you don't have to trade every day because the thought process is very mechanical. You need to not be bothered when you're doing this type of stuff. So it would be advisable when you're watching this replay to take some notes about, like, okay, when I'm in a trade, I need to remember some of those things. When I'm up in profit, moving the stop loss into, a few points in front of the trade, just so if it pulls back, you're not losing. Or if price is getting closer to your take profit, you need to start moving the stop loss or closing some percentages off that trade. Like if you had $10, hey, maybe it's time to remove $8 off the table. Stuff like that. Okay. Most people don't teach you how to think while you're in the trade. It's all about, hey, in this video, I'm gonna tell you how I made $5,000, and you're like, oh, click. And then at the end of the video, you're either frustrated or inspired, but you don't have no directions or the blueprint on how you should do it yourself. That's the problem. So with each model, when you're looking at some of the scenarios that happen often, it helps because you're like, okay, it's a couple options, or it's a couple ways you're gonna spin this. If I get one of those 3 or 2 options, I'll still take the trade. Okay, so I see a bullish trend, 9:45. This is a little noisy. Let me wait till 10 and 11. I look at price. Price came back just a tad bit below that. But when we look left at the range, what are they sweeping? Where are they sweeping, guys? Let me know.
Those previous lows.
Mm-hmm. Which was
Is that what time? That's London. London. That's London.
London. And then
it retested and then it
Mhm.
shot off.
Yep. And let's say you missed all
What
of
time
this.
was that? New
And you
York.
see price retracing here by 11. What are you gonna do?
I can well, if I
Jump
missed
in.
it, I can get in here and
And
then put my stop loss, a little bit below there
Yep.
and just let it ride.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because why would we want to let it ride? What did we recognize early on that happened that's given us the confirmation out of letting it ride?
The
Uh
the rejection on London price.
Breaking retest, London
The
sweep.
London sweep.
Yep. London session got swept. It's time to pull out these funds. It's time to go crazy. It's time to add these positions. It's time to recognize the setup and do what?
Jump in.
Capitalize.
Capitalize. Today's about to be a great day. Nah. Wait till I get my money right. Because you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me. Is you saying something? You can't tell me nothing.
Hey, bring back that old Kanye.
You feel me? That's why I'm literally breaking it down with you guys. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it?
It's right there. Telling you. Get that.
Now you got the pieces all collected like a deck of cards. And it's not going to click today, but it's going to click for sure. It's going to click for sure, right? And this was just in July. And I probably caught these setups. I caught at least 5 of those setups. Okay. So what happens when like it stops doing it? It stops doing it for like buy setups. Then we have to just follow up. Remember, I took a loss Monday, or was it? Yeah, no, Tuesday. But we talked about psychology of recovery. Oh my God, let me slow down. Psychology. Okay. I took a loss because I thought price was gonna keep buying. Because I'm thinking Friday to Tuesday, I'm cool on holding the trades. Trades turn sour. I made a mistake. Should have moved some profits, whatever, move stop loss or close some positions. No, I just thought prices is gonna push. And so I had to pay the price. I lost. You guys got to see me close those positions while I was doing a one-on-one. Not one-on-one, but yesterday's boot camp, day 7. And so today, though, I made that joint. I recovered. And that's why I was telling y'all one thing about me. I'm going to make my money back, but it's going to have to be under the right circumstances. And that's why I tell you guys, you have to know what those circumstances look like. Don't be delusional. Be specific. So I'm like, all right, I woke up today. I looked and checked the markets. And lo and behold, a damsel in distress. I'm like, oh, what we got going on here, ma'am? Help. I'm sweeping liquidity. Oh, okay, I got something for you. Add my positions. 30 minutes later, I'm good. So good that I went to take a nap. And I recovered. It was a wonderful thing, like Trump says. Right? So, and I knew price had a very good potential of continuing that trend, but I got what I needed. I got what I needed. And I knew once price swept liquidity, the same way they do it for the upside, they do it on their way down until they make it to a higher time frame demand. That's when it'll stop selling. So what am I going to look for tomorrow? I see that they're buying. It doesn't mean they're going to buy all the way. I'm not sure yet. We have up until 9:30 tomorrow to figure it out. But for now, all I see is prices buying back, and I'm going to wait for it to buy back. I'm not going to trade it. I'm going to wait for it to buy back so I can see if it's going to repeat the behavior so I can sell it back again or just sell it back to here. I'm not going to force it too much. But I just know every time I keep going to higher time frames, it just keeps looking like price wants to sell some more. So we'll see if that's the case. Okay. So it's the same thing about price sweeping liquidity on a daily time frame. Let's say price swept all these previous areas of demand. They went a tad bit lower than that. What do you think is going to happen? Price is going to buy for several days. A sweep of the previous week is a buy for several days. A sweep of the previous session is a buy for several hours. A sweep of the previous month is a buy for several months. A sweep of the previous high is a sell for several days. Or a sweep of the previous new high is a sell for several days. So once you get it on a micro level, you're gonna start asking questions about, well, what does that mean on the macro level? It's like, well, it's the same rule, different timeline. As above, so below. Damn, Andy just got mind blown. Yep. I knew I was gonna find you somewhere. Yep. And I used to hate higher time frames. I'm like, I'm not touching that. I don't even want to put my mind to. I'm like, but damn, I needed to understand the smaller time frames to a higher level, and then
Yeah.
gradually.
Later, dude.
Yep, that's right. Gradually, I'm like, okay, now I think I'm ready to like look at 4 hour, and then daily, and then
Watch.
weekly, and I'm like, damn, this is just like the universe.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Everything on a smaller scale is operating at a grander scale. It's just you gotta consume it little by little until you can handle the bigger picture. And that's when it hit me so hard. The market is a market of abundance. From a microscopic level up until like a cosmic level, it's all the same. You're not going to understand your higher self if you can't make peace with your lowest self. It's a bar, I know.
You gotta sacrifice your lower self
Bro, I'm telling you.
to get to your higher self.
Yeah. And no one's going to talk like that unless you're in tune with yourself. Unless you're learning to fall in love with self, making it count, doing the homework, doing the hard work, and then the hard work. Man, somebody say bars, bro. Nah, too nice with the words, man. Do you understand?
Okay, now.
Man.
Do you understand?
Do
Do you understand?
this was you came here for charts. Now we working on the heart.
You coming from the innerverse.
You feel me? I know you feel me.
Yeah.
My brother, my kin. So that's what it
You
is.
gotta sacrifice your lower self, bro.
You have to.
Trading is all about sacrificing your lower self. Your lower self is fear.
Yep. So it was never about the charts. Never. So you had to literally kill old self to become a new version of self so then you can understand certain things better. That's why I love this journey. You can't quit because there's so many things you left behind that's going to be needed for the road ahead. And it's not even money. It's you. If you left yourself back there, go pick it up, talk to it, sit down, make peace, embrace, and let's hold hands for the road ahead.
But that part of yourself have to be in order for you to know a different part of yourself.
Yep. And that's why he says, be still and know that I am God. Be still. Be. Stop looking for everybody else. Stop looking for the validation. Stay within self and stay right there until you can be comfortable with self. And then you'll be able to love somebody else. Love self first, equally. Get uncomfortable with that part. But then, because if you won't settle for something that you wouldn't settle for, why would you let somebody else do it on your behalf? So that's why, like, even when it comes to choosing certain trade setups, if you know that this setup is going to give you headache, why choose it? If you know this doesn't align with you, it's not up to your standards, don't let it fuck up your peace. And that's why I trade the way I trade. Oh, I'm trading this pair. I'm trading that pair. Oh, did you see this setup? No, I didn't see it. But when I see mine, you're not even going to hear about it unless I want you to know about it. So it's that level of figuring out something that works for you. Somebody gonna be like, yo, go check this out. Go check this new strategy. I'm good. Respectfully, I am. I see what works. I'm not looking for nothing else. And you just stay like that. You hone in and you're gonna be unstoppable. Unstoppable. I promise you. Even when you lose, you win. Because you're not looking nowhere else but within. What did I do here? How did I get this wrong? What happened? How can I get better? And you're going to forget about everybody else's strategy. You're just going to start focusing on you. Okay? You're the strategy that needs to be mastered. Oh, good Lord, I'm done. All right, that's enough for tonight. That's a wrap.
Got the bars on deck.
Don't let me stop. So that's why it's important to just focus on what works. Okay. Now, let's look for some more areas of liquidity. Notice how price will take out an old high and just go slightly above it so that they can sell back down. That's what they call buy side liquidity. And once you get that on a higher time frame, it's going to dictate what happens next in the lower time frames, just like time, just like seconds and minutes and hours. So when you start from the daily, for example, and you're like, oh, okay, why are we, oh, okay, we just came to that supply zone from March 2024. Okay, well, it's been a while and they seem to not want to go higher than this. So we go down to the 4 hour. Okay, we see price starting to dwindle. It might take a day for you to figure it out or next week, but you know from this point right here, they started reversing. So no need to be mad or sad or nothing like that. We pull up the next week, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, Tuesday. What are we going to do with this? What type of trade is this?
Sale.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because it bounced off of that rejection right there.
And it respected what day of the week of the previous week?
Friday.
Okay, there you go. So you would take that sell and you could hold until the rest of the day, the rest of the session. Catch it at 3, you can get out at 11. I don't know what their obsession is about 3 a.m. to 11 a.m., but if it's a good setup that's bouncing off the supply, you catch it at 3, hold that joint till 11 or start making some decisions before 9:30.
No, that's facts.
Yeah.
Because when New York opened, it's all hell break loose.
Mm-hmm. There is power and price touching an area twice.
Yep.
And this shit that I just be like, damn, what the hell? 311, 311. And it all came
311.
from me pulling my fib. Oh, not fib, my measuring stick. I'm like, 7 hours. What would that look like if I held it for 7 hours? Like, oh, 3 to 11. Hmm. Okay. 3 to 10. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. I could do that. I could do that. And then I just take a screenshot. I'm like, okay. It sounds crazy to hold it for 8 hours, but I've worked 8-hour shifts before. And if I got in this trade by 4 in the morning, I know by 11, I'll just sleep in or whatever, or wake up and I'm like, okay, I'll hold this trade till 11 at least. Because I see the correlation and I just take the screenshot, add it to my list of profitable setups. And I take notes. And I study it and it prepares me for next time. I'll be more than ready. And if I know this is what's playing out consistently like this, and now I start to entertain it like, okay, so then if I know where to put my stop loss, what is that, 10 pips? Okay, okay. 60, 50. All right, okay. Damn, so what's stopping me from risking, I don't know, $200? That would be a two lot. Okay, because 20 times 10 is 200. And this thing drops 50, that's $1,000. So I'm risking 200 to make $1,000. Wow. So how crazy is it that I can take I don't know, maybe a $700 account, turn it into 1,700, and I withdraw 500 and I wait for the next high quality setup. I do that 4 times. Hey, I just might make 4K for the month on some cool shit. Like not even forcing it, like just controlling my urges and being calm about it, just assassinating the markets and just finally being in control when I'm
In the
trading.
sunshine state.
Mm-mm-mm. And damn, that means I don't have to be obsessed about catching every move neither. What? No, no, bro. Wow, what a time to be alive. Wow, so I can really catch this trip. I can really catch up on my bills. What? All it takes is
What?
damn. And I don't have to do this full time neither. Like I just catch the right setups and that's it. Peace, serenity, freedom, abundance.
So you ever look at the times on my trades when I used to send them to you?
Oh yeah, I do, bro.
You ever see they in between that same exact time frame, right?
I know. I know who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking.
But you remember that's what you taught us in the beginning, to get up and start at the London session and be mindful when New York open. It's right there.
It's right in front of you. And you know what you just said is powerful because what I've said to you 5 years ago is still keeping up with the times.
And let you know these markets don't change.
Mhm.
They're not allowed to change them
They
because
can
there's
change tendencies, but
yeah.
some things just maintain the same theme, which kind of helps too with the anxiety of, well, what if I'm only going to be able to trade profitably for the next 2 years? That's not true because if you catch on and you see what keeps reoccurring, you'll always be profitable.
Warren Buffett been profitable all this time. Him and Nancy Pelosi. So why can't
Right,
somebody else?
right.
That's fear talk when people talk like that.
Yeah, of course, because you have something great and you don't want to lose out on it. Like you don't want to just feel like, damn, It was all good until they changed this. And sometimes
Right.
they do change slightly, but you'll catch on. You'll catch on. Okay. So, what did we learn today?
Well, I got in late, but
You still
we
got
learned
a lot of.
we learned some good setups. Yeah, I'm traveling right now, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
Let me
learned a good
find out
setup.
you in Palm Beach County. Oh, snap.
Nah, I never come down there without giving you a call. You know that.
You right. LB made it to, hey, yo, my boy LB is an assistant coach at FAMU now. Let's go. Oh, that's what's up. Damn, Coach Pat out here doing it. Now I gotta be sliding to FAMU more often. Let's go. Oh, that's so dope. Oh, that's what's up, man. Damn. That's crazy. Okay. No, that's tough. My bad, y'all. I just love seeing my people win, man. Some of my guys from Wahoo, they really setting the tone now, man. This is dope. And it's all because of one person, Coach Pat. Coach Pat believed in his teammates. Teammates grew and became better and assistant coaches, and then now they lead in different areas in Black excellence, HBCUs, and everything like that. That's what's up, man. I'm happy to see that. So, I said we were gonna go over some trades. And I'm talking about like some of your trades. And
Stop.
some folks panic. So, so who would like to show some of their trades? So, past couple trades, just so we could see, some of the things that went right, some of the things that went wrong, so we could like, um, learn something and give some advice, and then that'll be it for today. Is
I have
anybody up for that?
I haven't
Yeah.
taken any trades this week, so
Okay.
Let me I gotta switch to my computer real quick. I'm gonna switch to my computer.
Cool.
I could show like the gold trade I talked about earlier.
Let's go. Let's have it. Let's have it.
Let me know if you guys can hold on one second. Where the hell is it? Okay, there it is. Yeah. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So this is, of course, based on the Sunday through Tuesday strategy. Ooh, this is a little bit too dark. Hold on, let me just change that to a lighter color or different color. Let's go. That's fine. You guys can see that. That doesn't matter. So yeah. So what I did is I entered on the Monday actually, because what I was trying to see, what I noticed when you were teaching it, and like I said before, like in one of the other classes, I went back and went to every single week for almost a year for most of these pairs that you see up here, especially GU, just to see these. And I noticed that sometimes price will run on a Monday and not even hit Tuesday, depending on the pair. So then I'm like, okay, let me try and just enter on Monday when it comes down low enough. then it starts building, starts going bullish, and I just basically sat in that, and then it came down again, but I did not re-enter. Of course, I should have re-entered, but bam, and it just went up. And this was about the time when I got out of the trade. But of course, price kept going, which was fine because this is more of just like me just one testing out the strategy, and two just seeing how far price will run up, because I'm noticing where price will go to on the on this particular strategy, or just like on the strategy itself, and seeing like where like price will sit at, and that gives me an idea of like where I should put TPs and things of that nature. So basically from here to here is my trade, and then I just basically watched it for the rest of the week, and waiting till, of course, Friday to see what happens with that.
Okay, okay. That's what's up.
That's it. That's my TED Talk.
Good job, bro. Good job. Good job. I took some of those buys too on gold, but now that you've mentioned gold, um, let me quickly talk about something. When I was looking at gold at one point, I thought price was gonna touch 24, 40, 50, but then I remembered I got waxed one time, and it was because I didn't pay attention to how you see how this right here went drop, retrace, drop right there.
Yeah.
If you guys are ever trading and you see this, don't underestimate this area as a sensitive area where price could like react off of and not continue like you thought. Here's another area. This right here. That drop, retrace drop right here. These are solid order blocks. They might not look like anything, and you're just looking at potential price pushing up, but be careful. At least use the 4, the 3, the 2, just to see like just to refine and make sure you're not missing out on anything. Because had I, stayed in these buys, I would have been so rinsed. I would have been so rinsed, bro.
So let's say it goes to the beginning of where you started drawing that line to show that. Like, where would you enter on that? So like, as
That
you
would
said,
have been
the
an
Mandingo
exit.
canceled.
Yeah.
So no, but on the first part, like at the beginning of the structure.
Yeah.
So like where it goes Mandingo candle, bullish candle, then it just drops all the way down the first time. Would you have entered on that? Would you have like
No, ain't no way. I'd be a liar if I told you I would have been able to enter because I didn't see it coming. Some
yeah.
setups, some ways the market behave, you could only have quote it as an exit out of your trades instead of an entry. Unless you were planning on entering here, obviously we could see the break and retest by 11:30. Ideally, the 15 and the 5-minute time frame helps me to see that after a reaction. I go to the 15 and the 5 to look for a break and retest. Break and retest. That gives me time to like make a decision on price coming back down.
Gotcha.
So when in doubt, that's when you use the 5-minute and the 15-minute to make a decision off of like how price is gonna sell off after sweeping a previous high. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bianca, you said you wanted to share your screen a little bit. Let me see.
No, I said I haven't traded this week.
Oh, who said they were gonna move over to their laptop? Is that you?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that was Tiana. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Tiana.
Okay. I don't know where else. Oh, I got this. I got it. Share screen, the giant green button that says share screen.
You're doing good.
All right. Now, some of these trades I just kind of mapped out, and some of these trades I took on demo. This trade was this morning. I saw that price broke this previous, where was it? I was looking at right here. I marked it right here. This previous support area. Now I told other people in my group to be careful because I said this looked like a major support area, but once I got confirmation it broke with this, giant Mandingo candle. I did get in, but I remembered what I remembered what Hans said about taking trades that you're not too sure of, just give them less risk. So that's what I did. I didn't get in on like a full heavy lot size. I just did a small lot size, and it never really came back to retest. I think that's what it's going to do from right here. It's going to probably shoot back up here and then head back down, but got a good little profit. I really held it to this little green line because that was the last low area. But, got a would have been a good little profit if it would have held longer. And then there was this other trade. Let's say, it's this one. This trade, I was trying to exercise the Friday candle thing, but I messed it up because I thought it was 8 a.m. And so I was looking at this candle, but it was supposed to be the 7 a.m. candle for me because I'm Central Time. But that didn't really play out. But I did notice this level right here. Price bounced off this daily level. And I got in for a good little buy and I held. I didn't hold it all the way up till here. I thought it was gonna retrace back to this area here, but I really only held it until I got like 100 pips and then I got out.
Wow. Dang, you was cooking is what you telling us.
I've been paying attention. I've been trying to apply. I even put the low underneath this, my stop loss beneath this low right here, give it breathing room. And I've been trying to apply what I've been learning. Ain't no reason to
Queen, you're not just trying, you executing. Man,
I'm
put
doing
some
it.
fire on the chat for Tiana. Good job, Tiana.
Woo! I'm
Good job.
trying to get up there. I'm trying to make them 6 figures.
You on a mission. You on a mission. You on a mission.
Yes, sir. All right, how I stop sharing? Stop shit. There you go. Just a little bit. If I can do it, everybody in here can do it too.
That's a fact. That's a fact. This setup alone literally could change your life. You see it, you execute. 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 Even mentally. All right. That's what's up. Good job, guys. You guys made me proud. All right. Well, this concludes tonight's episode of Real Gems with SirHansFelix. I hope you guys took a lot of notes. I hope you guys will replay this and catch on, because that's what this whole thing is about. I pour my heart and soul just so you guys can elevate, and so I know, like, wherever I go on God's green earth, I know I got diplomatic immunity because I've been spreading some seeds of love and good knowledge. So you guys have a great night. Peace, love, and blessings. Always.
Peace.